Very excited to welcome Music Supervisor John Houlihan. John, thank you so much for coming and doing this.
Hey, good to see you.
I really appreciate it. I guess I'd like to start with, can you talk about exactly what is a music supervisor and what is it that they do?
For me, there's a wide range of what music supervisors do. It's a very individual service, so I think I'm one of the people who offers the most comprehensive approach to it. So I'm usually on very early. I'm on about a month or two before a film starts shooting.
Okay.
So step one is to get that script and break it down. Anything to do with music, any on-camera dancing scenes, somebody sings happy birthday on camera, you have to sort that out. You have to start thinking about the score, who's going to be the best composer for it, and just anything. And it's kind of like a film producer, but the specific realm is anything that comes in contact with the music world.
Okay. And what is the role that I guess the music supervisor has with the different elements of a film, with the producer, with the studio, with the director? Can you sort of talk about those relationships, because you're intimately involved in all of them?
Yeah, it's very interesting that more than most craftspeople in the Hollywood process, music supervisor will interact with many different departments. When we shoot, I'll have to interact with the prop master and the prop department about on-camera bands and what they're going to be playing and the logistics of all the instruments that might be seen on camera. Working with a choreographer when it's a dance scene. Just did one this past summer where we went back and forth about 6 times, honing in the exact right music edit and practicing it, and even speeding up the BPM a little bit. So you're working with the choreographer, and in that case, in many cases, you're working with the cast, the talent. Often, you'll see that a character's going to sing, and you've heard they might be able to sing, but no one's sure, and then you don't know if that song's going to be right for them. But it's a Mike Myers scene, so we're going to base the key on that song on Mike. So let's hope that the person playing his sidekick can sing their part in the same key, and so you deal with actors a lot as far as getting them pre-recorded and prepped, and I'm there on set a lot for the on-camera scenes. I'm always there to make sure everything. Bright and early, knocking trailer doors, re-handing out lyrics again for the 5th time, and making sure everybody's on the same page, ready to shoot it. Obviously, I look at myself as answering to the director. The director is supposed to be the leader and the person with the strongest vote. It's even the directors know that they're getting into a collaborative process. It's a group process, but I have had a nice career because I look at it and respect the director. I think these days in Hollywood, the directors are getting pushed aside a lot, and in television, the producer really wears the pants on the production, and after the director shoots the TV show, they kind of get pushed aside. But I always look to that person as they're the one making the most decisions. It's their vision, and I'm there to kind of help them meet their vision. So there's even more departments, but we're very involved with production when there's on-camera music. On the other side, unlike most other craftspeople, we're involved with the marketing department to figure out what the music of the campaign is going to sound like, and also to make sure that their marketing music doesn't go too far from what the film is going to be, because we don't want the marketing to promise one thing and then people get into the theater and the music is more retro than they thought, or vice versa.
Does that happen?
Yeah, it happens a lot. One really clear example is from way back, but it was on the first Charlie's Angels film, and we were trying to be very contemporary, and that was sort of the mandate, and to reinvent the 70s TV show in a very modern way. And we had a Destiny's Child single, and we wanted to have this music have this contemporary face to it, and they wanted to use AC/DC, Highway to Hell or something like that in the trailer, and it was just, we had to. If there's a disconnect, it hurts the album. The album can't add as much value to the film anymore. So ideally, everybody's on the same page. It's very hard. Marketing people are in their own world. They're out testing spots. They are with their own music ideas, and sometimes it goes back and forth. A couple of years ago, in a film called Letters to Juliet, marketing department used "Love Story" by Taylor Swift. So, and we're great in the trailer, and we finished shooting, and about a month later, I found a home for it in the film, and then we ended up using it in a second place and kind of making a big deal out of it. So that's a case where it just worked out really well. People liked the vibe of that song and these characters in the trailer, came into the film and got an enhanced version of that. So
that's great.
We're also dealing heavily with the music departments at the film studios or the television networks. They're all under pressure from their bosses for budgetary reasons and as well as marketing reasons and creative reasons. So we're really, being a music supervisor is you have to be the ultimate team player. You have to be able to operate in many different worlds, and a lot of times operate in those different worlds at the same time. And just sometimes I think of it as kind of like an air traffic controller or a traffic cop or something like that, at a very busy intersection, just trying to make sure that nothing crashes into anything else, and music can be creative, the optimal final package for the film, what the film needs and what the story needs, and also be optimal for the marketing.
Okay. For artists wanting to get music into film and television productions, I mean, that seems to be an area of growth over the last 10 years. What are the best, I guess, pieces of advice or aspects that you could contribute to people who are interested in doing that? I mean, are there certain rules and do's and don'ts that you feel as a music supervisor who must get, hit on all the time by publishers, songwriters, bands, etc.? Right. What are the best ways to approach that particular field?
I'd say there definitely there's a set of unwritten rules that I'm vice president of the Guild of Music Supervisors, and music supervisors have been spending a lot of time with each other over the last 2 or 3 years, where before that they really hadn't. They're a bunch of lone wolves, and now that we spend a lot of time together, I can really see some commonalities between how everybody operates, and everybody's in pretty good agreement about unsolicited material and the way they like to receive it, and some of the rules. So a few things off the top of my head are sending hard CDs is really becoming unfashionable. It's not, people are not even opening packages if it says from someone they don't know in Ohio or whatever. They literally may not even open it, because in this digital age, you're on your computer and you're scanning through things and you're streaming music and you're on links. It really seems, it's not, but it seems laborious to open something, to pull it out. Then I have to pick my laptop up because there's a little pad thing in front, stick it in the CD thing, and then it's like, it takes a second to boot up. And also CDs don't have the other critical thing that music supervisors look for, which is metadata. You can't, sometimes Grace Note will pick up somebody's album, and you'll get the album tracks and the artist name, the titles of the tracks, but you're not getting contact information and all that kind of stuff. And so most music supervisors want to get MP3s that are full of metadata, and not only the name and of the track and the artist, but phone numbers, addresses, IM addresses, anything, just clues. Because once something goes into my iTunes library, if it ever started on a physical CD, that either gets put on a shelf that I'll never find in my life again, or just thrown away. So things that have complete metadata is really important.
So that's a very,
I mean, there's no limit in some of these fields. I will literally type somebody's phone number and address if I really love the track. I'll type that into the album category. It doesn't matter. You can just fill up as many words as you want in there. So metadata is really important. And I know some people do still accept hard CDs, but in that case, I know a lot of people have a kind of unwritten rule that you better have a spine on it. If it's one of those little skinny ones and it goes in a shelf and you couldn't read what it says on the side, it goes right in the garbage and they don't even listen to it. I also think there's, a lot of, you can get access to music supervisors these days, but a lot of people kind of overdo it when they're shopping their stuff. They call every 2 weeks when nothing has really changed and what I'm looking for not. Also, if somebody calls in, somebody independent really shopping their own stuff, everybody, time is critical for everybody. Time is always short for everybody, and I don't have time to explain my film to somebody and explain what we're looking for, what we may or may not be looking for, because really on a daily basis I'm figuring out what we're looking for.
Right.
It's an evolving process.